Bonjour.
Hello everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we are going to discuss about the IS-5, the 1.5k gold tank, which is the heavy tier 8 Russian tank. So first thing first, before jumping into the review, I received some messages from people that don't know how to get the tank. Wargaming explained it a while ago when they released the tank, but you know what, let's recap a little bit. In order to get the IS-5, you need to have a clan. Once you're in a clan, you need to click on the clan icon right there, and here you can see that there is the clan supply, researched by the clan. Here we finished it in Loka because we finished it long ago, but if you're in a new clan, it's gonna be available. You click on it, and as you can see, you have different supplies level. It goes from level 1 to level 10. And to unlock it, it's really simple. You just need to play the game regularly, and when all the clan members reach 30 million free experience, you will be able to get to the level 10. Once you get to the level 10, as you can see in the supply level, that's all it gives you. On it, there is the IS-5 purchase. Once you unlock that, you need to go to your personal access. With your personal access, you need to do yourself 1.2 million free experience by playing regularly the game. And you're gonna unlock the possibility of buying the IS-5. Once you unlock it from here, you click on the IS-5 purchase, and here you will be able to buy it here for 1.5 thousand gold. So yeah, I thought it could be a good idea maybe to remind you real quick before jumping into the tank itself and the characteristics. So now let's talk about this mighty tank. Do I think it's power creep? Yes, but it's still relevant, especially for 1.5k gold, because it's the equivalent of $5.5 for a tier 8 premium that has a good credit coefficient. It's worth it. So, let's talk about the armor first. As you can see, it has this picky nose, not noise, picky nose, that pretty much every Russian tanks have. You have the same thing on the IS-3, which means this tank is extremely good if you manage to stay in front of your opponent. Don't angle it. The more you angle it, the easier it is for your enemies to penetrate you. That's why it's the kind of tank, and I see too many players doing that, they all go side scrap with the IS-5. No, no, no. If you side scrap, you just show this and you wait for your enemy to shoot that to bounce, but you don't show this part. If you show this part, they're gonna penetrate you. Overall, the armor of the hull is great. You have spaced armor on the side, and you have the traditional Russian Stalin bouncing armor. Therefore, you're gonna bounce shells on the sides as well, thanks to its spaced armor. And also on the back it's more rare, of course, but both these little areas can be bounced quite often by tanks, and it happens a couple of times by now to me. So yeah, now you still have a weak spot, as always, the lower part of the hull, but it's still quite a little one and small, so it's gonna be hard for your enemies to penetrate that or even aiming at that, except if they have a 0.28 gun dispersion thing or something like this, so traditionally a German tank. But overall, it shouldn't be a problem. So for the hull, that's all. Don't side scrap and stay right in front of your opponent. You can try to wiggle a little bit like this to make it harder for them to penetrate if they wanna give a try to the upper plate. But overall, don't angle is the best. Now let's talk about the top part, the turret. The turret, good turret, extremely strong turret, but weak spot. Here and here. Both of them are going to be penetrable easily, and they are not hard to penetrate. For real, when you are in hull down, the best thing I can tell you, because this tank is effective in hull down, but the best advice I can give you is when you shoot, it's either you go back or you try to go backward, frontward in order to make difficult shots on your cupola, because if you stand still, people are gonna just aim, wait for their aim to be completely focused and just shoot, and it's gonna go through. So be careful about that, because these two weak spots are extremely weak. That's why they are called weak spots. So yeah, overall for the armor, that's it. Now let's talk a little bit about the gun. The main problem I have is probably the gun depression. The gun depression is only 5 degrees. It's gonna be a struggle when you reach things like ridge lines, etc. You also have the traditional bad gun dispersion of the Russian tank, but is it a problem knowing Stalin is guiding your shell, your call? That's a question nobody can answer. Damage per minute is good, 2000 for a reload time of nearly 12 seconds. With your traditional average damage, it's a 122 millimeter gun, so you have the 400, and the penetration is quite good, 221 with the regular shells and 270 with heat shells, so you will not struggle penetrating with this tank, which is a good point for it. Concerning the turret, we already talked about it, just to say that the turret traverse speed is not the best. The mobility overall of the tank is good. You're gonna have not the best traverse speed, it's fine, 35 degrees per second is cool, but what is really impressive is probably the engine power. This tank goes fast for a Russian EV tank. You will probably go around 35-40 kilometers per hour, which is good enough to be able to take aggressive positions, and also good enough to come back if your team needs you on another flank or anything like that. So overall, a good tank. If I had to tell you how to play it, I would say you can try side scrap just to make people shoot at this area. Don't mind me, don't show that. If you show that in side scrap, you're gonna get destroyed. All down works perfectly as well. And in case you are extremely good, you can go for a face hug or side hug, as long as you wiggle a little bit in order to make your weak spots hard to get on the turret. That's all for the IS-5. How am I playing mine? I go for the 3 last provisions. The number of ammunition, you don't carry a lot, so that's how I'm equipping it, only 3 HEs, because usually you're not gonna shoot a lot of HEs with this tank. And for the equipment, I go for the gun rammer because I already have a great penetration, so I don't need to increase it. After, I go for the enhanced gun laying drive because I don't need to improve my shell velocity. I don't find it useful, so I always go for the enhanced gun laying drive. And finally, the refined gun to decrease the dispersion, because oh boy, is your gun dispersion bad with this tank, which needs you to fully aim before shooting. After, I go for the defense system. I don't know why the improved modules was on. Now, I go for the defense system. I go for the improved assembly because I think I would rather have more hit points than only 4% strength armor, especially on tier 8. After, I go for the toolbox. Improved optics because I'm not a tank destroyer, so I'm not gonna camp. Improved controls because I find the engine accelerator to be useless on this tank. I would rather have a little bit more mobility concerning the traverse speed than the overall speed. That's why I go for the improved controls. And finally, the high-end consumables in order to use my adrenaline twice instead of only 1 time. That's it pretty much for the tank. Let's go into the replay. This replay is brought to you by Daniel Gerik 7, I hope I pronounced it correctly, which is gonna have one, or if not the best game I've ever seen in an IS-5 of my goddamn life. Just look at this carry he's about to do, an amazing one and impressive. How is he playing his tank? He goes in the town. I would have done the same just because that's where you're supposed to play your IS-5. Usually in town, that's what is the more suitable for you, and the best place you can find is a place where you can both side scrap and hull down at the same time. And I think I know where Daniel is gonna go. Unfortunately, he took a shot in the process, but it's not a problem knowing the tanks got buffed after the 6.10 update on the HPs, so he can handle one shot at the beginning of the game if it allows him to take a great position. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He goes straight to a position allowing him to do both hull down and side scrap. From this position, he can both be aware of where the enemies are by spotting them, the VK in the IS-3 that are straight in front of him. He can also sneak some shots on both the Panta and the IS-6, and from this position he is avoiding also the possible tank destroyers on the hill to shoot him. So he's in a pretty fine position. Amazing shot there on the Panta, great anticipation, and look at this. When people are shooting at you in a rush, most of the time that's Russian tanks for you. They are gonna bounce because the Panther has an amazing penetration. The Panther could go easily through the IS-5 armor, but here it was not the case. Why? Because the Panther shot in a rush. When you shot in a rush to an IS-5, IS-3, any tanks like that, most of the time you're gonna bounce. Okay, I was not expecting that to penetrate because I was not expecting that to actually hit the targets regarding the gun dispersion. Really crazy shot here. I don't think the IS-3 has the last turret. If he doesn't have the last turret, it's gonna be easy for him. He can penetrate once more. Oh boy, 2 shots that goes in. Really, it's luck here. I mean, there is skill, of course, but there is an RNG part, which is huge. Don't try this with your IS-5. Most of the time, it's not gonna go through. I don't wanna make you believe that this tank has a crazy accuracy, such as it's the case, for example, for the Scorpion G. It's not the case here. It was twice an amazing luck. So, is he gonna maybe sneak a gold shell? No. I like the fact that he's not using gold shells anytime when he needs it, like he tried to aim here. If it was me, I would have probably gone for a heat shell. I don't really care. But yeah, he's going for a blind shot on the T28 prototype. We don't know if it went in. We will see later on during the replay. He's not moving from his position. He doesn't need to. And even if he wanted to move, it would be extremely dangerous for him to push. It's extremely dangerous because there is the T28 prototype, the IS-6 and the IS-3. He decides to push anyway, maybe to help his teammates on the other side of the map trying to push the T28 prototype. So let's see how it goes. He goes for a first shell. He uses then the rock to side scrap. That's a good thing to do. This way he's probably going to be able to bounce again the IS-3. IS-3 blocked himself, not allowing him to escape before taking the shot, which allows him to put him a great shot. Now we have the the IS-3 that is a one-shot. He needs to still take care of the IS-6, but he's gonna go recklessly anyway, and that's a good thing to do. Now they need to kill people. He goes for an HE to be sure the shot goes in, and he did the right thing. Now it seems like all his teammates are gonna get destroyed, and that's why he pushed. I can understand why he pushed now, because if he didn't, he would have been in the back with his teammates and probably getting wrecked. He needs to kill isolated targets, such as it's the case, for example, for this T28 prototype. He goes in, he goes for a shot on the move, a lucky shot there regarding the fact that you have really bad gun dispersion. And oh boy, he's doing the exact right thing. He uses his great mobility to be able to circle the T28 prototype because the T28 prototype doesn't have a fully rotative turret. He goes for an HE and boom! See ya, T28 prototype. Extremely well played by Daniel here. Now he has the high ground, like Obi-Wan would say. He has the high ground, and having the high ground is an extremely good thing for you because it will allow you to only show your turret if you manage to go back enough, and that's what he's about to do. Here he is in an extremely effective position in order to simply destroy the shit out of his opponents. He's waiting for the good shot, maybe to try to one-shot the IS-6. It was not enough, but still he's gonna be able to kill that IS-6. The IS-6 is not trying to push, I guess. Is he gonna try the... Ooh, is he gonna try his luck? Woof! Wow, wow, wow. Amazing shot. Amazing shot. I don't have anything to say here. That was just amazing. Now he's in a 1 versus 2 situation with a T49. If I was him, I would not fear too much the T49 because it's gonna be a struggle for him to penetrate. As long as the IS-5 managed to not show his ass to the T49, he's safe. It seems like the T49 has a connection problem, which is gonna be a blessing for our friend Daniel. The T49 tries a shot in the rush and boom, see ya. Have a nice day. T49 is out. Now he's in a 1 versus 1 against the full life VK. If I was him, I would try to face-hug the VK. If he tries to face-hug the VK, he should be able to get some shots done in quite easily. Maybe he knows he is reloading before the VK. He needs to be able to put one more shot if he can, but the lack of gun depression is striking in. He tries to take an advanced position. Regardless, it worked. But now he needs to be careful. The VK can one-shot him because the VK has the 440 alpha damage. Okay, VK, it seems like the VK is coming back. Is he gonna be able to destroy the VK? He needs to watch at the time. There is only 35 seconds remaining. He needs to push, he needs to get the VK. That's what he does. Unfortunately, he missed his shots because now he's only shooting hit shells. He shot every single one of his shells. Can he make it? Can he make it? I don't think he's gonna be able to make it regarding his both his connection, but also his how is it called? The number of ammunition and reload time. He tries it. Unfortunately, his connection is trolling him. That's why it took some time to shoot the VK. He's not going to be able to put one more shot, and it's going to end on a draw, unfortunately. He tries to circle a little bit the VK in order not to get one shot. But yeah, it's a draw. Oh boy, if it was not a draw, if you managed to pull that out, Daniel, that would have been an even more amazing replay, but you had connection issue at the end of the battle, I saw. Regardless, an amazing battle. Thank you for sending it to me. Hope you enjoyed, guys. And yes, the IS-5 is still relevant, even if it's not as good as it was before. And for 1.5k gold, let's not spit on it and buy it straight. Thank you all for watching, and see you soon.